The Mithril Emperor has made his decree, and the Labyrinth Lord has set about constructing the Gauntlet Sprawl, a grand series of trials so perilous as to push competitors to their limits. How will these contenders survive? Cunning, skill, mystical powers, brute force. Destiny and doom hang in the balance for every single Gauntlet Runner. Welcome to Gauntlet Runner. I'm your Game Master, Esper. This is a semi-competitive form of D&D in which the players attempt hardcore dungeon runs. Today's competitor, we have Professor DM from the Dungeon Craft YouTube channel. Will he give this dungeon an educational beatdown, or will he get schooled? Hello, Professor DM.
How you doing, Esper? It's great to be here.
I'm doing pretty good. Glad to have you with me. There were some, let's just say, technical difficulties. So the way we're going to run this, from Professor DM's perspective, is going to be completely theater of the mind. We're going old school. I'll even be rolling the dice. But I think this is going to work out just fine. Your character, Mortifer. I'm going to show his stats on the screen here. But what do we see? What's his class? Just give us a little tiny tidbit about Mortifer.
Mortifer is a fighter with some roguelike abilities. He is level 1. He's got studded leather and a shield. He's very athletic. He's got decent perception. And he is a human.
Okay. You've got a rapier, or if you want to sheath that and take the shield off, you've also got a longbow.
Right.
Okay. Let's do this. Mortifer, you're in a room, stonework architecture, and there's a stairway that's descending. With you are 2 armored guards and a cloaked man. These are the people who led you to this room to begin with. And the man in the cloak, he gestures to those stairs. Gauntlet Runner, down there is your trial. Your challenge is to make it all the way through the gauntlet. You have 3 hours in which to do so. Take heed that sanctuaries are marked with the symbol of Morpheus the Dreamer. In the sanctuaries, there are no monsters, there are no traps. As long as nothing follows you in, a sanctuary is a secure place. And now, your time has come to descend.
Do I need a torch, or is there some form of illumination?
You look down the stairs, there does seem to be illumination.
I walk down the stairs. I'm moving down cautiously, taking note of my surroundings above, on the ground, to either side of the wall, etc.
Okay, so you come down these stairs. You're in a corridor about 5 feet wide, ceilings 10 feet high, really not like well master-crafted masonry walls. Just a little bit ahead, it cuts to the right. There's a sconce with an ever-burning flame in it. That's what's providing illumination.
Do I have a mirror?
You do not have a mirror. You have a Dungeoneer's pack, so you've got like thieves' tools, crowbar, caltrops, torches, tinderbox, rope.
All right, so as I approach that bend, I'm going to put my back up on the north wall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I will take one of those caltrops and just toss it around the corner.
Okay. Bing, ring, ding, ding, ding. It goes clinking along the floor.
I'm going to wait for a moment, and if nothing moves, I don't hear anything, I'll peek around the corner.
There's a slight sound of movement. It's not immediately close by. Just a little, maybe a step or a shuffle or something. It's a little ways away, though.
And I'm going to take out my longbow. I'm going to notch an arrow and move along that. The corridor, I think, is going north, right?
Indeed. Okay, you step out there. An iron gate slides down from behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, you are sealed in here. You can see down the corridor. It will open up here in just about 15 feet to a larger area, changing from masonry walls to natural walls. It looks like there's some kind of cave up ahead, rough, irregular, natural stone. Giant mushrooms are growing up, kind of filling the one half, like your right hand half of this cave. and then the left-hand side does not have the mushrooms. Big things, like man-sized mushrooms.
So as I enter to the north, that should be the area that is mushroom-free. And
Okay.
that is the side I will stick to.
Okay, so you've entered into the cave, and you're, keeping yourself close to the one side and being quiet and wary. That shuffling noise, you hear it again. It sounds like someone's moving around, just kind of a bit of erratic steps.
So I'm going to move over there slowly. Again, I have my longbow out, and I'm going to peek around.
You hear a squeak, like almost like a rat type squeak, and then a grunt.
Around the corner from me.
Yeah, yep, around the jut of the cave wall.
Well, I'll look around the jut, and I'll see what's there.
There's a man, or at least what once was a man. His skin is gray and green, hair is ratty. And ratty's a great description because he's actually crawling with rats. There's rats like gnawing on him. This looks like a zombie. He's wearing just kind of threadbare, nondescript tunic. He pulls a rat that's like gnawing at his cheek. There's another way out of this cave. Yeah, you see it now. It's to the northwest, and there's it looks like the cave is connecting to another section of corridor with masonry walls.
Well, I'm going to outrun the zombie. I'm going to assume he's a slow-moving zombie, so I'm just going to avoid him by running past him toward the exit.
Okay, let's see how sneaky you are. That might be helpful. So I'm going to do the rolls here. Oh my, you have a natural one. Okay, so you start your run and you get like a few strides when the zombie notices you. And we'll go into initiative here to track things. And let's roll for everybody. You have the initiative. You've succeeded.
So I can't run past him to get there.
You could. Yeah,
I could. Okay.
Yeah. He's like 15 feet away, and you could stay out of his reach to get into that corridor.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run past him and just outrun him into the corridor.
Okay. So you've moved your speed. That's 30 feet. And the corridor is going north for a bit, and then it angles to the northeast, like a diagonal shape.
Yeah, I'll keep moving quickly, and just hopefully the zombie loses interest.
Okay, so you dash. You've actually gotten through the entirety of this new section of corridor. There's a door that you come to. It's a stone door, looks pretty heavy, has like a grip on it, looks like it could be pulled open. So that was your turn. The zombie is quite agitated and comes shambling. With a dash, it is able to get almost within arm's reach of you. So it's coming down the corridor with outstretched hands that look like they want to rip you to pieces.
Okay, I'm going to switch from my longbow to my rapier, and I'm going to stab the zombie.
You stab out with your rapier and connect with the zombie. The strike makes the zombie stagger a bit, but you're piercing through dead zombified flesh and does not fell the thing like it might some common street bandit. The zombie will reply with grasping out for you with vicious hands. And you easily and nimbly dodge the swipe. Do you strike again with your rapier, or do you have something else?
Rapier again.
You stab with the rapier. It's not your finest of strikes, but it's just a zombie. The thing is not hard to hit. So once again, you give it a bit of a run through. This time the zombie bucks a bit. And for a second, you almost think he's going to fall over, but he doesn't quite keel over. And it, with an undead disregard for its own self, it grasps out at you again. The zombie connects, but your armor stops it from actually getting through and like ripping at your flesh. So it almost got you there.
What I'm going to do is, can I stab the zombie and take my shield out and use it to defend myself against the zombie?
You'll need to make a choice. You can either make your attack or you can get your shield strapped on.
Attack.
Attack? Okay.
Yep.
You press your offensive because you've been having great success. And once again, you stab the thing. It's truly no great challenge to strike this walking bag of undead flesh. All right, the zombie is going to be making a Constitution saving throw to attempt to not just die outright. It fails. You skewer the thing right through an eye. It's rather nasty bit, and it falls to the ground, and rats begin to scurry this way and that. A few maybe stay on it because they just can't resist gnawing upon the zombie flesh. But you have felled your foe.
All right, and then there's only one way to go, and I've got this stone door. So you said it's got some sort of handle or something?
We might call it a handle. It's got a section that could be gripped, just the shape of it, and seems simple enough. Just kind of a basic heavy stone door that you would pull to open.
I'm going to listen at the door. Do I hear anything?
Okay, we're going to roll a perception check. You've got a +3? Okay. Right, you got a 16 total. It's quiet, right? It's quite silent. And I might even say you notice something. There's a discrete mechanism built into the door, right there by its hinges. There's something's like, that mechanism is going to activate or trip or whatnot when this thing is opened.
Do I have gloves?
Yes, you have like some nice leather gloves.
Good, I chop off the zombie's hand, and I'm going to use it to open that mechanism.
Okay.
The zombie's hand in the mechanism,
The
not my
mechanism
own.
doesn't really have an opening function. It just looks like a simple thing that when the door opens, the hinge like trips something or activates something.
I have a rope and a grappling hook.
Not a grappling hook, just a rope.
Can I attach the rope to it?
You do have thieves' tools as well, and you're proficient with those, as you have a, let's just say, a sorted background.
Is there a way to tie a rope around that mechanism so I can open it and I don't, if something snaps on that hinge and it rips my hand off, that it won't get ripped off? That's the idea.
Would you say you're trying to disable the mechanism on the door?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Let's do a thieves' tools check. I think that's probably going to be your best bet, just the way that you're looking at it and you're thinking, I might be able just to disable that. All right, you got a +5 on a thieves' tools check. Not a bad roll, total of 21. Yeah, you get the mechanism disabled. Whatever the function was, it's not going to do it.
I open the door.
It takes you a bit of effort. It's a pretty heavy door, but you try and you put some elbow grease on it and you get the thing opened. And you hear this kind of like some kind of dull click that's just like not catching, like there's something not catching. It only just goes for a moment and nothing happens. Well done. Whatever that was, it's disabled. Okay, so you're seeing now a circular room. There are 2 stone pedestals in this circular room. One to your left and one to your right. The left one has a grappling hook on it, just a grappling hook. And the right one has a glass phial, like a potion. Also, on the northern end of the room, there is a smaller wooden pedestal. The top of it is carved into the likeness of an owl.
I'm going to be moving not through the center of the room, but my back pressed against the wall around the left-hand side, which is the west, which should bring me to the owl.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. You circumnavigate to the owl.
I'm going to search it for traps, the pedestal.
Come to a total of an 8. Well, not that you notice.
I don't see anything wrong, so I'm going to avoid this thing. I'm going to take a few steps back, approaching the grappling hook from, behind. And do I perceive anything unusual about that pedestal?
Yeah, I'm going to do another perception check for you, and this one we'll consider like the room and the pedestals and all of that. 20 total. Nothing rouses your suspicion. The only thing that maybe is of note is it does seem that these pedestals are built such that they can sink into the floor, but they're not doing that. You're guessing you probably disabled the mechanism that would cause them to sink into the floor.
Okay, I'm going to take the grappling hook and the owl.
The owl is part of a wooden pedestal, and it's fastened to the floor.
Okay, so I'm going to get the grappling hook and the potion then.
You take them. Could be helpful objects. The exit out of here, just from where you're standing, you can kind of see it's a diagonal northeast corridor, and then it cuts east and pretty shortly is leading into some other area, some other room.
I'm going to go down that corridor. I'm going to take out my shield. I got the wood shield and the rapier out.
Mortifer, you are now getting a view on this new area. So ahead of you, like 10 feet ahead, the corridor connects to some room. It looks like maybe a squarish or rectangular shaped room. And then if you were to just like walk straight east from where you are, there's an exit. There's an open exit, like another little bit of corridor that's connecting to yet another room, a smaller one. And at the end of that, so just like completely straight across from where you're standing, is a door, a wooden door. Looks to be like a pretty nice door. Has some brass finishings on it, some brass fittings.
All right, so I'm going to look at the bigger room first.
Okay, so I think we can understand that you come to just right before entering into the bigger room. You're kind of at the end of this section of the corridor.
Okay.
And indeed, you can't see the full extent of this room that's kind of, built to the north from where you are. There is a wall sconce kind of close to you, but, beyond the radius of its illumination, things just go dark. So there's some north end of this room that's not visible due to the darkness.
Okay. Doesn't sound like there's anything there, though.
All is quiet. There is another detail I should mention.
Okay.
Most of this place, the ceiling has been like a 10-foot ceiling. This room that you're at the threshold of has a much higher ceiling. It's about 25 feet up. And the ceiling is covered in stone giant spiders, like statues or maybe even petrified giant spiders, just fused with the ceiling.
Okay, that's disturbing. So I'm going to go to that east corridor to the door with the brass.
Okay.
Inlaid.
Before you step forward, I'm going to have you make a perception check, because I know you've been keeping a wary eye about your every step and your every move. There is suspicious holes built into the floor of this larger room, and you do not step your foot ahead just yet, because that gives you pause. They're like discrete holes, and they're riddling the floor of this larger room.
And there's no way to step around them or anything like that.
They're numerous, such that doing that sort of stepping would be precarious. I'm not saying impossible, but you're thinking it would expose you to the danger.
Can I climb?
You could try. The walls are really well-crafted masonry. They don't have a lot in terms of handholds, but you could try it.
I'm going to see if I could do that. I'm going to see if I could just get to at least that door of the little room.
Okay. So you're going to get onto the wall and basically try to go eastward, sideways along the wall. So we're going to do a athletics check. I'll give that a roll here. It's a 23, which is quite the success. That's going to have you climbing for a round there. I am going to also have you do an initiative check. It's going to be necessary. Okay, initiative roll. Okay, you have an 8 for initiative. Okay, so here's what happens. You've just taken your first bit of movement into this larger room, and you're going along the wall. You've just come in a few feet, let's say. There is a sound on the north end of the room, like a rustling noise, not an organic rustling noise, like a sound of a stoneware or something, right? That kind of ceramic-y type sound. And not loud either, just like a tinkling. And then there is this horrific shriek, and a apparition just flies at you from the darkness, and stabs at you with a spectral knife. Let's see what this attack does. It misses. It totally misses. It just stabs into the stone nearby. All you had to do is move your hand out of the way. Are you inclined to just keep going, just climbing and getting through this room?
If I can.
Yep. Okay. So on your turn, you do a dash while climbing. So half speed will get you 30 feet, which clears the room, and you can get off of the wall and land in this little strip of corridor that's just right before this squarish. It's sort of a squarish small chamber, and at the far end of it is that door that I mentioned.
I'm going to go to the door.
Well done. That could have been much worse. Well done. There's a sound of laughter. That's the first I've seen that. What are you, some kind of spider monkey? In the center of this wooden door is a brass orc's face, and it's animated. The mouth is moving.
I assume it's magical. It's magical or mechanical?
What are you gawking at? You're not certain.
I'm gawking at you. Are you mechanical or magical?
Magical. Very, very magical. Fireball. Ah, shit, it didn't work. You look scared shitless.
Well, a specter just tried to murder me with a knife.
Oh, it failed. Too bad.
How do I get into this room? Do you let me in?
I ain't letting you in.
Why not?
Because I don't like you and your dumb face.
What about some sort of riddle or something? Isn't there some sort of puzzle to figure out with you?
No, I hate riddles.
Is there any other way to, like, handles to get her into this door or anything like that?
It has a handle and it does have a keyhole.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Pretty nice looking door.
Well, since I have nothing else to attempt, I think that, well, first of all, I should have tasted that potion. I'm going to just put a little of that on my tongue. Do I know what it does?
Tastes like a potion of healing.
Okay. We got a potion of healing. Grappling hook. Is there any way to put that...
Kind of creamy golden color, a light aroma to it.
So, the grappling hook, does it go on the handle or anything like that? Would it be able to go on the handle? Or
you could.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to attach that grappling hook to the handle.
Oh, no. You're coming close. I don't know what you're wearing, but it smells awful. The grappling hook is on the handle. No problem.
The grappling hook, can I use it to open the door, or it's locked and I'm going to have to pick it?
It does appear to be locked, yes.
All right, I'm going to use my lock picks to pick the lock. I'm also going to make a perception check to make sure it's not trapped with any sort of a magical doodad or something.
Your perception check comes to a 9. As far as you can tell, there's no traps.
Oh, there's no traps here. I'm going to pick the lock with my thieves' tools.
It's very trapped. You're going to die. It's going to drop you into a pit of acid.
I look at the floor. Does that look accurate?
Not that you can tell.
No. No outline of a pit? No grooves or anything? Okay.
I don't notice anything, no.
All right. Well.
What are you going to do with those? The brass eyes kind of, the eyeball just kind of like looks down at your tools that you're drawing.
I'm going to pick this lock.
Like hell you will. This is a master lock. You want to give it a try?
Nevertheless, I'm going to try.
Okay. So you've got a +5 on Thieves' Tools. You fiddle with it. You're not getting it. I will make you an offer. You can try again, though if you fail, you will have ruined your Thieves' Tools. Or you can think of some other clever thing to do in this situation.
How hard would it be?
I told you you'd fail. You ain't getting through this lock.
Well, how does one get through the lock? Where's the key?
I ain't telling you.
Why not?
I already told you. I don't like you and your dumb face. It's even worse now that you're up close. Where'd you get that scar? They should have finished the job.
Okay, so we have a noxious door. I don't know how. I don't see what I have on my character sheet or with the grappling hook or the potion. I don't see any choice but to pick this thing again.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to try one more time.
All right, you give it a try. Apply your lockpick. It's a total of an 18. You have picked the lock. Ah, damn.
I told you I could do it.
Wow. I hope you die in the next room. The door opens to another room. Kind of a medium-sized room, let's say. It's lit up, and after you open the door, there's a voice from the other side of the room.
Hello? Hello? Who is there?
A small figure, a small man of some kind, kind of comes into view of the open door that you have. He's wearing a black leathern raven's mask, and he has some kind of like big pointy ears jutting out from behind that, and is wearing the clothing, maybe some light armor. Does seem to have some weapons.
Ah, you didn't destroy my door. Well, at least there's that. You're welcome to come in if you would like.
My name is Mortifer.
I am Raven. I am the keeper of Ratsfray. Caretaker, some might say.
Well, I have to admire the work on your door. That is an impressive lock. Not anyone can pick a lock like that.
Yes, if you can. I did not build the door. I just look after this place.
You just look after this place?
The Labyrinth Lord built this dungeon. The Labyrinth Lord himself.
The Labyrinth Lord.
You are well aware, the Labyrinth Lord of Bazagon, the Grand Architect of Bazagon City, City of Mazes. He has been ordered by the Mithril Emperor himself to construct the Gauntlet Sprawl, a new district full of trials and tests for souls such as yourself.
Well, if you would like to come in, you're more than welcome.
Thank you for having me. I enter.
Okay, you enter into the room. Now, there's a bit more going on in this room. On the far end, there are 3 exits, 3 corridors, or 3 tunnels. On the other side of the room, on the western wall, which is right next to where you are, there are 3 smaller wooden doors.
These 3 doors here. Behind these doors are potential companions for you. I will allow you to open one door if you would wish a companion. It is rather dangerous here.
Well, what sort of companions are they?
Behind 2 of the doors, there is a goat. A foul-tempered mountain goat. And behind one of the doors is a lizard man.
The type that would eat me, or the type that would help me?
It will serve as your companion, any of them. And they will, I believe, follow your commands. Yes.
All right, then. Well,
That's what they've been trained to do, so they better do it.
all right. So we essentially have the top door, the middle door, and the lower door. The way I'm...
They look identical, all of them. Just these kind of like simple wooden doors, essentially.
I'm going to take the door furthest to my right, which should be kind of to the north.
Before you open that, allow me to reveal something to you.
And the man, small creature, slinks over to the bottom door, unlocks it, and opens it. And you see inside, indeed, a goat.
Just a goat behind this one. If you would like, you can change your answer. Would you rather the middle door instead of the top one?
I'm going to stick with the top.
Very well.
He goes, unlocks the top door, opens it, revealing a lizard man. Covered in scales, has a carapace shield affixed with spikes. Looks like he has some other weapons as well, like some javelins.
I hate small place. You will go with this one, Mortifer. Do as he says. I will show brave.
Okay.
What is your... I am Mortifer. What is your name?
Skithas.
Skithas. It's a pleasure to meet you. Which of these 3 tunnels would you pick?
He looks at one and the next and the next. So I'm rolling a perception check for
Skithas. Much silent.
He kind of struggles to express himself in the common tongue, but it seems like he didn't really hear anything.
Okay.
If you would like to listen, you're more than welcome to.
I will listen at each.
Okay, so we're going to roll your perception check. It's quiet. Yeah. The only thing I could really say of note is that the top corridor is brightly illuminated. The middle one is dim, and it seems to be more of a natural cave-like tunnel. The bottom tunnel is also a masonry corridor, and it is also dimly illuminated.
Taking the dim one to the bottom. Skithas can go first.
Brave eye.
Okay.
Indeed you are.
You and this reptilian companion make your way into this corridor about 30 feet, and then there is a bend, like an L-shaped bend, going once again to the east. He peers around that bend.
Shadows.
And he will make a perception check once again, now that we're in kind of a new area.
Nothing.
He continues. You bravely proceed with him?
Yeah, I'm going to pursue after him.
Okay. How close do you want to stay behind Skithas?
About 5 or 6 feet.
Just 5 or 6 feet? Okay. So you stay pretty close. You go about another 30 feet through a corridor. It connects to a small, like 15 foot across, square chamber, and on the far side of this chamber, again, the corridor continues. Yep. There is a surprise that occurs at this point, though. A giant rat attacks from hiding just around the corner as Skeekthos is crossing the threshold into this room. It will bite at him with advantage. This thing like lets out a little squeal, and it bites your reptilian companion, and he suffers 6 points of damage. A bit of a light wound to him. The giant rat bites at Skeekthos. It does not have advantage this time. Its little rodent incisors snap out and are repelled by the carapace shield. It is your turn.
I skewer that rat bastard with my rapier.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to like get up close as you can behind Skeekthos and be stabbing through. I will give the rat half cover. You stab with your rapier. Unfortunately, it's just such an awkward angle and you do not land your strike. Skeekthos will strike at the creature, and he actually has 2 attacks. So he's going to try to spike it with his shield, and he's going to also try to stab it with his javelin.
Nice.
He's got a plus 4 to hit. All right, the first one is a natural 1, and the rodent just leaps out of the way. The second one is a nat 18, and he strikes the thing with the javelin, dealing a wonderful blow of 7 damage, which actually is enough to skewer the rat. The thing squeals a nasty death squeal, and it just falls over limp on the ground, twitching.
Rat.
Are you badly injured, my friend?
Say more. Big talk, nah. Big talk. No big talk.
Okay. All right. We're going to proceed through the room.
He seems to not understand complex sentences very well. Just looking at him, he seems to have only taken a light wound.
Okay.
All right, you move ahead, and he continues, bravely forward. On the other side of the small chamber, the corridor connects back, like to the east and then to the north.
Mm-hmm.
He looks around the corridor. Makes a perception check to see what he might see.
Not.
He doesn't seem to be noticing anything.
I go.
All right. I follow
Unless
him.
you're stopping him, he seems kind of antsy to keep going. With a sort of lizard-like slink and his tail swishing back and forth, he just kind of bravely leads the way. Do you have any particulars as you're moving about here?
No, I'm going to have my long sword out. I'm going to have my shield out. And I'm going to stay about 5 feet behind him.
Okay. You come to a room of intersections. It seems that those 3 different tunnels all end up intersecting back in another small room.
That's what I was thinking.
Unless you are particularly inclined to backtrack, the way forward is another one of those heavy stone doors.
Is it, which wall is it in?
To the east.
Okay.
To the east, there is a heavy stone door. This one's a double door, but otherwise is kind of like that one heavy one you opened previously.
Okay, I say, Skeethus. I listen at the door. I'm perceiving, searching the door, trying to figure out maybe how it opens.
Okay. So we're going to roll your perception check here. And nothing rouses your suspicion. It seems just like another heavy stone door. You rolled a 21 perception, by the way, so you rolled quite well.
Any handles or anything like that?
Yeah, it's a double door. Each side has effectively a handle, some kind of grip.
Okay, I'll take one, and Skeethus can take the other.
Okay.
Do we open them? We pull them in or push them in?
Pull. Yep, the two of you work at it. It takes a little bit of muscle, but you haul them open. Inside, or beyond, is another one of those circular chambers. It looks, similar to that previous circular chamber that you went into, though there are no pedestals. However, there is a stonework engraving on the wall, a kind of bas relief of a symbol of a temple with an owl perched upon its roof. On the opposite side of this circular chamber, to the east, is an identical double stone door.
Owl. Let's take a closer look at that bas relief.
Okay. You go in there, and you look it over. There's something familiar about it. Would you say that your character has a general religious familiarity, or are you like, grew up in some like misbegotten corner or a secluded background?
Well, considering his criminal nature, I'm not sure how many churches he's been to.
I would just say gut instinct. Do you think he has just a general common knowledge of religions of the area?
Probably.
Yay or nay? Probably. Okay. This is certainly a symbol of Morpheus the Dreamer.
Morpheus the Dreamer. Okay.
Yes, a god of dreams, of course, of twilight, of healing and resting, and even a god of intoxicants.
So this is probably one of those sanctuaries where we could rest, but I'm not injured, so we will keep going.
Okay. So the doors on the other side, it takes a bit of effort to open them. Otherwise, there's nothing special about them.
Okay.
On the other side, there's a wider corridor. This time it's about 10 feet wide. It goes straight to the east for a bit, and then soon after does an L-shaped curve up to the north. Skeekthos proceeds ahead cautiously, slowly, gets near the bend, makes a perception check. Would you like to make one as well?
Yes.
Okay. His is a 13, and yours is an 11. Well, once again, it's silence. Skeekthos will peer around the corner.
Yeah, some rats. Not close.
He seems to be assessing what's ahead. He's kind of has a bit of a moment of hesitation or discerning. What do you do?
Those rats.
You are in the dungeon of Ratsfray, after all.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
do you want to peer around the corner?
Yeah, I'm gonna peer around the corner.
Okay, you peer around as well. It's definitely opening to a larger area. So the corridor, juts back to the north, and then just, maybe 20 so feet after that, it's connecting to some area. But it's hard to make it out what it is exactly. You see there are some rats, just regular rats, and they're just kind of, one scurries here and one scurries there. There are some different ways to move. It looks like a larger area or a complex of some kind. It looks like there's kind of some multiple ways you'd go in this complex.
Okay. Well, we're going to enter the room.
So you have partial views of these three areas, a kind of ledge and pit area, a corridor with some different features, or some kind of man-made pool.
Well, I got a lizard man. Let's go to the pool.
You tell Skeekthos, go look at the pool. Do you follow behind him?
I will.
So he approaches, and then you approach behind him.
He's got bad vibes or something, then we're not going in the pool. But I assume, lizard guy knows his way around bodies of water.
Swim, good,
The pool's pretty far across. It's about 60 feet across. There are a few stone rectangular columns or platforms. So it's almost like there's stepping stones across the pool, square shaped, like kind of a 5-foot square. The shape of the pool, it's not this perfect rectangle. There's a jut into the west near you and farther in.
Is there a way to step on these stepping stones and then not go in the water?
Yeah, they rise just a little bit above the water.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is Skeekthos can just Swim. And I will do the stepping stones and try to get my way across.
The water's sort of murky, so you can't quite tell what's under the water. But you don't see like any northern corridor or doors or anything like that.
So is there a way to go, like on the if I get to the other end of the aisle?
You're not presently seeing a way to go, but again, you can't tell like what's behind that jut. So there might be something within that inset area.
Right. Yeah, that's what I want to go check it out. I'm going to step on the standing stones, and Skeetos can swim. But if he gets, if he goes in the the water and he feels some kind of weird vibrations or something, he should pull out.
He's going to jump in, and you're gonna back up a little bit and then take a little leap and jump out onto the first. We'll call it a stepping stone. It's it extends. It seems to extend all the way down to the bottom of the pool, almost like a pedestal or a square column. So Skeetos goes into the water, and he has a swim speed, and so he swims readily. And you leap out and you land onto the stone, and there's a distinct like something just clicked or shifted slightly within the stepping stone. There's no immediate effect though, but something just triggered there. It's obvious to you. Also at this point, we're going to go into initiative. It's going to be necessary. There is something amphibian at the far end of this pool. It's splashing out like a frog-like thing. It's splashing out from wherever it was behind that inset area that you didn't have an angle of visibility on. You actually have one initiative, Mortifer.
Come on, make another jump then.
So you leap onto the next stepping stone. As you exit the first one, the one that you had triggered that click on, flames enshroud it. So the first standing stone now has flames crackling along it.
Uh-oh.
There's a click on the second one when you land on it.
Oh, well, I'm going to leap again to the next one. I'm going to propel myself off that one right to the next one.
All right. The same thing happens when you leave that second one. Now its surface enshrouds with flames.
Uh-oh.
And there's a click when you land on the second one. You're noticing a pattern here. You can now see this giant frog thing. It's a medium-sized creature, kind of like a man-sized frog. Hungry-looking amphibian. Its throat sac kind of hungrily bulges for a moment. And it's just splashed ahead a little bit. It is presently in the water 20 feet away from you to the northwest.
Well, I'm going to propel to the next one.
That will get you into a dash. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fourth verse, same as the first. When you leave the stepping stone, the third one, flames enshroud it. And there is a distinct clicking, shifting when you land on the fourth and final one.
Oh, man.
So you're basically at the end of the pool and you see just wall. However, I am going to give you a free perception check here because there is something you might notice. So we're going to roll this with a +3. 16. You have succeeded. You notice underwater at the northern end of the pool, if you were to swim down under the water, swim down like maybe 10 feet down, there's an underwater tunnel leading to the north.
An underwater tunnel. Leading to the north.
Yeah.
But I would have to, I guess, hold my breath. And I'd have to do battle with that amphibious thing.
So it would seem.
And is there anywhere to go besides that underground tunnel?
Nope. You've reached the end of the pool. So it'd be water, flaming stepping stone, or just stay where you are.
Where's my lizard man?
Clever. He's back in the water, 28 feet away from you.
All right, so if I actually passed him.
Yep. Yeah, you went first, and then he'll be up next.
Because what I would want to do is like have him swim, and I'll just grab onto him, and we'll swim down the underground tunnel.
All right. So
that's my thought.
All right. So you tell him, get over here, basically. Yeah. And you point out the underwater tunnel. Skeetos eyes the giant frog, hears your command, and he's brave. He's brave. He doesn't balk at this. He seems to think that this creature, this frog thing, is not the worst thing in the world. So he goes swimming, and his tail swishes back and forth. So he's now quite close to you. He's basically just to your left in the water. He's looking at this frog creature. He draws a javelin. If you would give him one quick command, what would it be? Attack, dodge, move somewhere else?
At the speed that the frog is closing, do I think that if I jumped on Skeetas that he could just swim down that corridor and avoid combat altogether? Or is it the frog?
You don't think that would? You think the frog would be nipping at your heels? Okay,
all right. Well, then I tell him attack, and I point to the frog. And what I'll do is I'll take out my longbow and I'll attack with my longbow.
Okay, so we'll wait till we get to your turn for the longbow. For Skeetas, he's got this javelin in hand, and I think he's just going to hold that at the ready, and when the frog approaches, he's going to stab at it. So we go to the frog's turn, and it kind of jets through the water, and so Skeetas will get off his attack first. He stabs with the javelin and pulls off a 12 to hit. That does indeed hit the frog. He will deal 7 piercing damage. He stabs the frog. It lets out a pained croak, though it is not a severe wound, and the frog bites at Skeetas. Amphibian jaws snap and are repelled by scaly hide of the lizard man. It is your turn, Murtifer. Cool. You have a longbow in hand. What do you do?
I shoot it at the frog, and because I have an elevated position, do I get any kind of advantage?
No advantage, but I would say it does not have half cover. Your ally's not going to be really in the way because you're up higher.
Okay,
so that
I'm going to shoot it.
That would be an advantage of sorts. You loose your arrow, and you have hit with a 14. You have dealt a 10 damage wound to the frog. The arrow actually stabs into its hide, and the thing lets out this bleeding, shriek of a croak. And you've severely damaged this frog.
I jump in the water.
Okay. Which direction do you jump?
Close to my lizard man as possible.
Okay, so you just jump due to the west, and you just get right behind Skeetas, who has this focused, cold-blooded reptilian, cold fury, and he is intent on stabbing this thing with his short spear, and he skewers this frog. And the thing's bleeding, just kind of turns into red bubbles in the water.
I didn't want to kill that frog.
Frog. Rats.
So I'd say Skeetas.
Good to eat.
He wants to eat the frog.
Not now.
He just, whatever, rips off a bit and puts it in a pouch. He has other priorities. All right, so what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I tell Skeetas, swim, me hold you. And he can swim down the corridor, and I'll just hold my breath. And then wherever it goes, we'll pop out the other side.
Okay. You take in a big gulp of air and cling tenaciously to Skeetas, perhaps his tail, and you go under the water, plunging down into the cold liquid. You go down about 10 feet until you come to this submerged tunnel. It is a lightless tunnel, and you enter into darkness. And you are holding on, and you are holding your breath. And forward you go, and it's a bit slow because of he's dragging you. And a few beats later, there is a murky light at the end of the tunnel. And you reach the other side, and you emerge up out of a much, much smaller pool, 12 feet by 8 feet. Okay, you're in a really wide corridor. It extends to your west. It's illuminated by an ever-burning sconce. There is a door to the north. There is a stone door, and it is marked as the exit. It doesn't literally say the word exit, but it is marked with a symbol, with an exit symbol that's recognizable to you.
Check it for, perception, check the traps, etc.
You look it over, nothing rouses your suspicion. You and Skeekthos haul it open, and there are stairs ascending which lead you out of Ratsfray.
Oh, that's...
And you have made it through the dungeon!
Before I go, though, I want to give my healing potion to my lizard man buddy.
Drink.
Good. It's good. It's good.
Now, it has its intended effect of healing him, but it also has a secondary effect, a surprising and perhaps unintended effect, a randomized effect. He lets out a tremendous belch. Not a spew, but a belch, like a tremendous belch, and it actually blasts him 20 feet in a random direction. Luckily, that doesn't actually cause any real trouble in your particular, like in your current situation. He utters some sort of reptilian curse at whatever that was, but it does heal his wounds.
All right, we emerge out of the dungeon then.
You emerge victorious. Professor DM, you are the first person to succeed in this dungeon. You're the first one to make it through.
Well, that was thanks to my lizard man friend. Couldn't have done it without Skeekthos.
A great boon, a great ally, and also you made some good choices, and also you just had some good luck in some areas.
Well, thank you. I had a great time.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad we were able to make it work in a theater of the mind style.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, I guess we'll wrap things up there, and you'll be seeing this at some point in the near future, and you'll get to see how other people have fared in Ratsfray. Most of them are dying, so I'm very curious to see if anyone else can get through this.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure, and I'll look forward to seeing you again sometime in the hopefully not too distant future for perhaps some other adventurous tales.
All right.
All right, everyone. I will see you next time. Until then, may your adventures be many.